How many hours are you in now?
Oh boy, my last meal, the last supper, I should say. um, sorry, 7 o'clock in the evening on Sunday. So,
Okay.
gosh,
So you're
I'm
coming up
hoping
on
to.
3 days. You're in the
Yeah,
60s now. Yeah, good job.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I feel amazing. Absolutely amazing. I just wanted to check in. I also wanted to report my ketones and my glucose.
Yes, this is
I
big.
just checked. Sorry.
I said, yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah. So I sent you a text earlier this morning, and I just checked my uh, ketones and glucose just a few minutes before I hopped on the phone here. Um, ketones 6.8,
Yep.
and my glucose 49.
Yep. And see, that freaks
So
people
yeah,
out.
and it's
Did it freak you out, or
go ahead.
because you're a pharmacist for a living, you kind of know what's going on here.
Right. It's funny because, and not like ha ha funny, but just interesting funny because obviously if anybody were to get that, it's like that's like an emergency because
Yes.
we explain to all our patients with diabetes, the 70, anything below 70, you gotta take your sugar and you gotta get that blood sugar up. But here I'm at 49. I am feeling like amazing, and
Yes.
it just, I mean,
But
the mental clarity, um, I can't explain how amazing this feels. It's just great.
but that 70, that's the threshold, is always in the context of a sugar burner. So when
That's
you
right.
are keto or when you're fasting, under 70 is pretty much going to happen for a lot of people, especially in a fasted state and especially this deep into a fast. Day 3, 4, Dax, is when we usually see this huge jump in ketones, like Brian has seen, and you see a huge drop commensurately and inversely with that jump in the ketones. You usually see a huge drop in the blood sugar, and you feel completely fine.
Yeah, Brian, you're right in the prime mode right there, my friend.
Oh,
You're fully using fats for your energy stores. Your blood sugar numbers notwithstanding, the feeling that you have, what you're describing, it's almost as if you are at a loss for words to fully describe it. Am I right?
how did you guess? I can't put it into words. You're absolutely right. I mean, I'm not sure if I would say euphoric. I guess it is
It's
part
euphoria.
of it euphoric.
Yes.
It just feels great. I feel amazing. And what's crazy, and again, obviously you guys have been doing the fasting for a while, but I'm not hungry at all. Like zero. I mean, it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm going to be obviously breaking my fast coming up this weekend, but like right now, I'm like, cool. I'm like, I'm going outside more instead of making food. I'm doing other things, and I'm not. It's not even a concern of mine, and I
So,
just feel great. So I
so
just wanted to share that.
thank you, Brian. What's the longest you've ever fasted before this?
I would say I think I did one 36 hour one because I said probably maybe a
Yeah.
couple months ago. Yeah, but nothing past that.
So
And
you're almost
this
double
is
that now.
yeah, I know this is all brand new territory, and I love it. And it's just I just wanted to share my experience, and
Yes.
thank you
Thank
so much for
thank
all
you,
this.
Brian. Caitlin, I love
Uh,
it. I love
That's
it when we
wonderful.
get a newbie long-term faster that's like, holy crap, what is this sweet euphoria? It's fun to see that because we've been experiencing this for a long time.
Love it. Thanks again, Jimmy.
Thank you,
Hey,
Brian.
Brian, one more question, Brian, before you go.
Sure.
Does your wife still think you're nuts?
Oh, of course. Not only does my wife think I'm nuts, she told her parents, and her parents think I'm nuts too. But they'll get over it.
Well, hopefully they'll see a new you.
Exactly, and it's a thing to show that you can run on fats. Fat is an energy source, and so this is a great thing to show them that this can be done because of course they're on standard American diets, and of course if they do that they wouldn't be able to do this. I just know that very difficult to do. But yeah, I'm gonna, we're gonna be going out for dinner on Saturday, and I'll be sharing my experiences, and hopefully they'll see that I'm not as crazy as they think I am.
Caitlin?
Well, I was going to say, enjoy the keto high, Brian. You are fully in it.
Thank you.
But I want to point out something super, super, super important. His blood sugars are low, but he feels amazing. Now, if his blood sugars were low and he felt like absolute crap and his ketones were still high, that would tell me that he's not actually able to utilize the ketones.
Yes.
And some deeper work needs to be done. So you can't just look at a number for a number. You have to put it in context as to how the person's feeling with those numbers. I just wanted to point that out.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. And by the way, just thank you, Dr. Caitlin, for that. I just also wanted to share too that if I was feeling like crap, I would definitely be considering to break the fast
Yes.
and just, try to get some other time or maybe do a little bit less the next time. But right now I'm feeling great, so I want to keep at it.
And you should end the fast in that context, or like what happened to me this morning when I was under that heavy stress and was really hungry. I meditated, deep breathed, like got in a quiet place, got in sun, and did all the things, and I got myself righted again. So you did it, dude, and you're doing it, and I'm proud of you.
Love it. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
By the way, thank you, Brian. By the way, Caitlin, I remember being at a conference one time where Dr. Jeff Volek, one of the premier ketogenic researchers out there, he told this story that there was this study. Now, they could never do this study now because it would be wholly unethical, but they did this study back in the 1950s where they starved people, fasted them for a period of time to get their ketones to a certain level and their blood sugar to a certain level. And then they purposely shot them with insulin to bring their blood sugar down so they could prove the point that it was the ketones sustaining them and not the glucose. Their glucose got in the teens and they were fully lucid. They were perfectly fine. In any other context, that would be a coma and close to death. But they showed that the ketones actually step in the place of that glucose. So those of you that see higher ketones like Brian did and lower blood glucose, don't freak out. The ketones are doing their job.
Yeah, I heard that study and I was like, holy moly. Because in nature, we're very rarely in a situation where we have high ketones and high insulin.
Right.
The only time that would happen is if we were fasting and then in a stressful position or a stressful state, kind of like what you were in.
Yeah.
But that should only be short term. So any type 2 diabetics out there who's taking insulin, please be mindful. Like, be very careful.
Yeah. And your body will scream at you like it did mine today. And you do all the things to try to right it. I was this close. Dax, I was this close to ending the fast today, but I stuck with it. Pam, you're up next. What you got for us, Pam?
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, I didn't realize this was like an actual fasting challenge, so I'm not trying to do that yet.
That's okay. No worries. People are here to educate themselves as well. So what's your question?
Okay, I'm building myself up. I can fast pretty easily, 1 day a week, water, and I usually have about a tablespoon of fat spread out over the whole day, like, a teaspoon in a coffee in the morning, that kind of thing. That seems to help me.
Okay.
So if you have any comments about that, that would be a first question. And the second question is, and I get benefits. I mean, I feel great that at this day, I'm doing it right now, and I mean, I can really notice it. I'm trying to come up with a quote-unquote ideal fasting schedule. I'm not going to be a gung-ho person, but I figure probably 1 day just basically kind of gets me, over a hump or something and has some level of benefit. Probably 2 days. I know that day 2 is when you feel terrible. So probably a 3-day fast is all I'm ever going to want to do. What kind of frequency? I mean, it's really convenient to have a 1-day fast because it's 1 day a week, and that it's very easy to kind of be psyched for it and everything.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a 3-day fast, it's like once a month about what you should do. I'm a postmenopausal woman.
Yeah, I think 3 days once a month would be fine, but even 24 hours, that's called OMAD, one meal a day. And a lot of people do those a couple times a week. And then the intermittent fast, some people do kind of a little mini, like you were talking about, 3 day fast from time to time, about once a month. What we're doing this week is a 7 day fast, and we were talking about doing that maybe once a quarter. Yeah, just mix it up. Now, let me go back to your first question about the fat, and I definitely want to hear what the panelists have to say. You think you need a tablespoon of fat throughout the day? I think you're using it as a crutch, quite frankly. You'll be surprised how well your body will tap into your own body fat stores that you don't need it. Now, are you messing with the ketogenesis of all this? No. If anything, you're probably enhancing your ketone production by having that little bit of fat. But what you're telling your body is you're not fully in a fasted state. You're feeding it a little bit. Now, a tablespoon, Caitlin, is what? 200 calories, 250 calories, whatever it is of the fat. And so we're not talking about gobs, but it could be counterproductive to the goal of the fast, right, Caitlin?
Yeah, I think it really depends on your goal. So whenever someone talks to me about fasting and what fast is best for them, it's what is your goal? What is the outcome that you're looking for? And so, you know, initially, if you're going from like a standard American diet into intermittent fasting, yeah, increasing your fats and maybe using fats might be a good crutch, a good bridge into getting into it. But as you progress, I always challenge, every single person to continue to challenge themselves by, eventually doing like a 24-hour, just like you said, with water only instead of fats. Going to a 36, going to a 48. So not necessarily jumping into these longer fasts, but constantly push and challenge yourself.
Pam?
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, that makes sense. I say water fast. It shows you what maybe I am. I drink coffee and tea too, so it's like, blending up
Yeah.
a little bit of MCT into my coffee, and it just makes me mostly, probably it is psychological, making me feel undeprived.
I'm going to challenge you, Pam. Next time you fast, try to do water and salt, just so you know how it feels. Because right now, you're holding on to that panda bear I see next to your baby in your picture. You're holding on to that bear because you feel like you need that for comfort. That's what the MCT is giving you. Try to let it go and see what happens. I think if you want to keep the coffee and the tea, that's fine, although they are diuretics and will suck water out of your body, which could be counterproductive when you're trying to fast, but it's all worth a try. Anything you hear us talk about, it's worth trying at least to see how you do.
Okay, and I guess another question would be, I tend to use real salt. It's the brand.
Yeah, of course.
That gives me electrolytes and everything, and that's just as good as the Himalayan in this case.
Oh, yeah. That's what I have right next to me right now is a little plate of Redmond's real salt. Yes.